I mean, would you get out of it that way, or?
Is this like before you've sent them money or
Well,
after?
they were messing with the bank account, with her bank account.
Okay.
And they had us on the phone. I told her, this is a scam, I'm sure. We went to the bank. We ended up having to get all the numbers and everything else changed on her account. But, I mean, they're still on the phone with you there. They want to stay on the phone with you the whole time. What if you just hung up on them and said...
I mean, that's what I would suggest. If you think you're getting scammed, if you think you're on the phone with somebody and it's...
We were getting scammed, definitely.
Yeah, and they're not legitimate, you should just hang up. It's not, even if you've sent them money, just get off the phone with them.
They said that I had to put cash in a certain mailbox in Shoal. And that's where I said no.
Like a P.O. box in Shola, or like a person's mailbox?
No, it was on the phone.
What box? What kind of box did they want you to put mail into?
Oh, a regular mailbox. But then they told me that that's the only way that I could get the money to them was to go to that.
Yeah. I would
box.
highly suggest contacting Sholo PD, because it might, if it's a person's local mailbox, it's probably a local scammer that's trying to scam people. So I would highly suggest contacting them. Even if you didn't give them any money, you can tell them about that. They might already have cases on that. I don't really follow everything that Sholo does.
Well, I had to change everything.
Yeah,
My
no,
bank number, everything.
Yeah, I would suggest doing that.
So,
Excuse me.
Whoops, hold on,
Yep.
Karen.
When we're done, I'll give you guys, everybody, that number.
Good afternoon. What about bank, Wells Fargo, Zelle? I do marketplace, Facebook marketplace selling, and I had 3 people telling me they wanted to buy it, but they would pay me with Zelle, and I didn't like that, so
Yeah,
I didn't deal with them.
Zelle's okay. The only one that is weird, and it's through Facebook Pay. It's not necessarily through Zelle, but they'll tell you that you have to make a business account and up the transaction size. If they say anything to that effect, discontinue it right there, because one of the Sholo PD officers was actually scammed that way. He put up a hot tub on Facebook Marketplace, and they told him, well, you need to up it to a Zelle business account, and it went back and forth, and that's the scam in its own, is it's trying to. So, but normal Zelle, I mean, we all use Zelle between each other. One of us will go pick up lunch, and we'll just Zelle them a little bit of money. That Zelle itself is fine, and it's attached to your banks. But if they're telling you through Facebook that you need to up your Zelle, and they're trying to send you a link of how to do it, that's the scam.
Oh, okay, they did.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Zelle, and they said, we can walk you through it. And
Yep, nope, that is the scam. And that's exactly, I see that one a lot on Facebook. People, because I follow a lot of the groups for the PD's page, like White Mountain Neighbors Helping Neighbors. I'm following that group. So you can always just tag the PD and stuff if you have any kind of questions. And I have it routed to my cell phone, so I'm usually pretty good about trying to get back with everybody as quickly as I can. So if you ever in doubt or have a question, screenshot something, you can always just ask us there too.
Yeah, I have those emails. I had 3 call me right away, and all 3 of them had the same story.
Yep.
I'm going to send my brother and pick it up. I'm
Yep.
going to send a cousin, but
Yep.
I didn't go any farther.
Yep, that was a good call, because yeah, that exact scam happened to the Sholo officer, and that's what it did. And the social media accounts look legit. They you have a couple pictures of an elderly gentleman on a Harley or something like that. So you think it's a real person and it's not. Yeah, for sure.
I have Number one, I found that if I'm looking for a particular company, that a lot of times you put that in on the search mode, you'll get several others listing the same company under sponsored. If it has sponsored, I usually skip it.
Yep.
And find the company itself. That way you're not going through a third party. Second thing is, how effective are these firms like LifeLock in stopping some of this stuff and protecting you?
LifeLock's pretty reputable. That one's decent. The biggest thing I can say that is a great piece of advice, if any of you are at least a little bit tech savvy, is putting a VPN on your computer. It's a virtual protective network. And what that does is that blocks, so your internet has a unique number. Every computer has a unique number. And what that does is it like masks it. Kind of like, you know, I don't know if any of you use like Google Pay or any of that. It will give a fake debit card number when you scan something and it protects your terminals. The same thing happens with a VPN. It gives you a funny IP address to all these companies, so if they ever try to get in, they think they're getting into your computer, but they're getting into some random address in Canada. So those are one of the biggest lifesavers for computers is a VPN. But yeah, I've seen LifeLock, that one's actually pretty reputable. McAfee, if you get it through like a reputable source, I know Verizon's running some promos and stuff like that where you can get their Verizon Secure, which is run through McAfee as well. That one's very valuable. Do you know of any others, Detective?
Where do you get the VPN? How do you get the VPN?
So a VPN you can look up online. There is multiple good numbers. Like the one I use is NordVPN. I'm sure everybody has seen that picture with the half a circle in the mountains. That one's pretty reasonable price because I'm a cheapo. I don't like giving people my money. But Nord, N-O-R-D, NordVPN. And that one usually runs about $4 or $5 a month. And you can keep that, and it gives funny addresses, and you just literally click connected, and poof, it's ready to go. There's a couple other ones, but you just kind of look online. Same thing like he was just saying. If it says sponsored, that's probably not it. If it looks funny, it's probably not it. But you can get some VPNs, and like I said, when in doubt, you can call your internet provider. They'll have a list of VPNs. I don't know about Cable One. And Frontier. I know Sparklight. Sparklight will, if you have any of their internet stuff, they will put on a VPN for you. All you have to do is ask. And they can put that stuff on your actual internet itself, and that'll help.
I could respond to the LifeLock. My wife and I had our passports stolen, and we were on LifeLock, and my first call was to LifeLock. And they shut everything down.
Yep.
And it saved us a lot.
Yeah, my USAA is attached to LifeLock, so that's the only one I know because we had something similar happen, and yeah, USAA canceled everything, disputed all the transactions, and my husband and I, we had a couple extra pieces of paperwork for a few years, but that was it. It saved everything.
Another scam the church had is we got a phone call saying that our water bill was overdue. And so we asked for the number, and I had our assistant call the water company, and they said, no, it's up to date. But we called the number, and it was like a real company. They said, oh, okay, well, hold on. And then there was music in the background, and somebody came up. And so that's another scam, is they have this background music that sounds just like a real company.
Yeah, I know one thing that I've been getting lately on my phone. I'll get a number calling me, and it'll be like a local number, like a 928 number. But then in the voicemail, it'll tell you to call some completely different number, like a 866 number. So those are obviously scams. I don't know. I'm not sure why that happens. I think it might be the number they're calling you from is the number that they purchased, and like through a cell phone app. And then they're asking you to call a different number, so it's harder to track. So, because I know, like, for example, with the numbers that they purchase through apps, I was curious several months ago, and I tried to see if I could track it, and I kind of lost it after I got in contact with the app that they bought it through. Because these apps, they don't require like somebody's name or somebody's phone number. Like if you have the app, then you can just purchase the number, and then that's kind of it. You really don't have to prove who you are to get it. Anybody could do it. I could do it right now and just pay a couple bucks and get a 520 number and start calling people from that one. So, yeah, if somebody calls you from a local number, but they ask you to call a different number, then that's funky. So.
What about those Facebook posts that you see, this dog was hit by the side of the road? Are those scams?
Check with your local law enforcement agency. I know county was looking into those because there was, and there was another one we were investigating where they were putting like a GoFundMe up for a dog that was extreme animal abuse, and there were rehabilitative services. Check with your law enforcement agency. We take those things very seriously, and a lot of times they are a scam. That one, I think it was circulating a year and a half ago, and we actually, me and Officer Damron from county looked into it, and this person had been convicted of animal abuse down in the valley, and it was their own animals, and they were just scamming people out of money. So I know it all gets to our feelers. I mean, believe me, I put on the vest to save these animals. But call your agency first. Hey, do you know if this is legit? Because most times if it's an animal hit on the road, we were called. People report that the same as a car accident. We've already been out there looking for it. So when in doubt, err on the side of caution, you know, because as much as I want to help those people too, a lot of them just take advantage of kind-natured people.
What is the number we should call?
So you can always call if it's anything to do with Show Low PD or Pine Top Lakeside Police Department or Snowflake Taylor. You can always contact the non-emergent police department number, which is area code 928-537-4365. And you can also, if you look up ours, which is still area code 928-368-8800. And that will get you to the police department directly.
Can we have you repeat those one more time?
Absolutely. The non-emergent dispatch number is 928-537-4365. And PLPD's number is 928-368-8800, 8800. Correct. That's why I gave the non-emergent number, because
Yeah. I mean, that's the main one. Like if you're wanting to report something, you should probably call the non-emergency line. That way
Yeah.
they can create a call. If you call our police department, like if you just have a general question, that's fine. But if you're wanting to report something,
Yeah.
Our secretary is just going to direct you to call the non-emergency line anyways.
Yeah, and I think I think we have a automated system, but it's just going to add more steps to you. It'll say like to speak to dispatch, and it'll bounce you around. You know, nobody wants to sit there and listen to all the options. So when in doubt, you can call the non-emergent number, and that will get you somebody one way or another.
What's the second one?
That's the PD directly.
The second number you gave.
Yep, the 8800 one is the PD itself. So like if you want to just ask Detective Bunch a question or something like that, feel free to call that one. You know, they don't need to generate a call for service for that. Yes, sir.
I get numerous emails daily that appear to be legitimate companies. But if you click on who sent it and click it again to get their email address, it's always some long address and personal address. If you scroll down, it says you can unsubscribe, but I haven't done that, thinking it may be a link that they still can get into your accounts.
It's potential. They can get into anything, but I usually use the unsubscribe button, and I haven't had anything go wrong yet. But yeah, when in doubt, if it doesn't even look reputable, just delete it to be on the safe side, because I saw a new scam the other day that was going around where they just changed the way the letter looks in the email address. It was claiming to be from Citibank, and where most of us are used to when computers type out like an A and it has the tail on the top, this one had switched it to just a regular like handwritten A, and there was a bug embedded in that, and it was getting in people's computer. They're getting really clever. So if the email doesn't look right, you don't bank with that bank, you've never used this company in your life, just click the trash can button next to it and call it a day.
I get those every day. I could probably open up my email right now and there'll be like probably 20 or 30 scam emails.
Yeah,
So,
we have like 6 firewalls at the PD, and somehow they still make them into our business emails. So it's a mess.
yeah. So, is there any other questions?
Oh, let me bring you the mic, John. Here you go.
I just got one from our investment company, but the logo is a little bit different. They want me to log in because they haven't heard from me in a while. I was online yesterday. So,
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's everywhere. So I don't think it's going away.
Nah.
There's not a whole lot we can do to make it stop. I mean, if the FBI can't even make it stop, I don't think there's much anybody can do. But we just want everybody to be prepared if it does happen, and to hopefully prevent it from happening in the first place. So it's not so much that you don't need to trust anybody or trust any particular company, but you just want to make sure that you verify that it's correct, or you make sure you're speaking to somebody that's legitimate. If you're getting suspicious of who you're talking to, then just hang up. Don't talk to them anymore. If it's legitimate, they'll contact you some other way. Or if they're saying it's your bank, call your bank. I'm sure everybody knows their bank number. So
If you have a PIN on your bank, most banks nowadays require some kind of 4 to 6 digit PIN code or a secret word that you have to know. Always make sure you put those kind of things in place. If an officer calls you, even if you question if it's us or something like that, like Detective Bunch said about the chief provost thing versus officer provost, just tell them, well, I'll come down there and talk to you in person. Because if it's going to be a scam, they're going to be like, no, you can't do that. Yes, you can. A PD is a public building. You guys are always more than welcome to come down and talk to us. We are not going to tell you no.
Should you change your passwords every so often, or?
It's a good practice to have, and don't use the same password for every single thing.
like me, that's what I do. I'm
Yeah,
really bad about
I
that.
could hack him in like maybe 30 seconds flat, but then again,
Yeah.
Detective Budge still has trouble with his Bluetooth, so.
So tell me about your Facebook page.
Oh,
If it's
absolutely.
informational, how can we get on it or be your friend or whatever it takes?
Absolutely. So all you have to type in the search field is Pinetop Lakeside Police Department. And you'll see it's got our motto on it and things like that. I usually post weekly the statistics from the patrol division, so you know kind of what's happening in your neighborhood. Like I said, with the way the world has gone with its view on law enforcement, I really want to maintain transparency as much as we can with our people, because our stance is we are public servants. We're here to serve the public. So we want you guys to know what we're doing all the time. So you're always more than welcome to get on there. I think right now it's got some pictures of some squad cars and National Night Out photos from August. So yeah, feel free to add it. Show Low PD also has their own page. I usually post and I'm sorry? Yeah, county does too, the health department, even BIA for White Mountain Apache Tribe, they have one. But you'll find those, you'll know it's the right one because I follow all of those entities as well, because we all share the same information to try to reach as many people as possible. So yeah, feel free to add any of those. And like I said, if you're in like the Neighbors Helping Neighbors, Lost and Found of the White Mountains, I'm in a lot of those groups as the police department, just so I can, if anybody has questions or wants any kind of dialogue, we're there as well.
Your name?
Chelsea.
Repeat it again, your email.
Oh no, it's the Facebook page. It's the Pinetop Lakeside Police Department. And we're gonna go live with an Instagram here in a few weeks. I don't know if anybody's on Instagram, but right now we're just on Facebook and Neighbors. I think it's an app. Yep, the Neighbors app.
Next door.
Next door neighbors, that's the one. Yep, we do that one because we can geolocate. So if I have an accident on like Woodland and 260, I can drop a pin right there that, hey, avoid this area for a little while. We've got traffic backed up or something like that. We try to make sure we put alerts on there.
I don't even know where the police department is.
EA.
Do you know where in Lakeside, do you know where the Speedway and the Circle K are? Right next to each other? They're kind of across the street? Yeah, so it's behind the Speedway.
It's next door to me, so
Oh.
you're going to show me.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're actually getting a new building, so you'll see a bunch of construction there.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to tear down our old one and build a new one, so.
So we're gonna be fancy now. Give it a little time. Heck yeah. We may be small, but we are mighty.
Are there any other questions?
Curiosity.
Sure. Hold on. I know people hate the mic.
I've been getting a lot of calls recently from the police department for donations, 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah, that is definitely a scam.
Are they all legit or scams?
Scams.
Yeah, they're all scams. So the police department's never going to call anybody to ask for money. You know, it's it's just not something that we're going to be doing.
No, the only donations that we accept as it stands right now between the agencies that I'm aware of is sirens and sleigh bells, and we send that out in a big formal letterhead. We never put any phone calls out asking for money, especially not from officers, because it's against Arizona Code of Ethics.
You're bringing the mic. Hold on 1 minute.
What about the letters? I've been getting letters at least every month for the sheriff department or the police department or for the police families.
Yeah, I'm not looking at them right now, so I'm not sure. But like I said, when in doubt, you can always bring them down. And one of us is usually around there, and we'll look at them and go, yeah, this isn't us.
Because recently somebody in Sholo, they got a letter from it was from our police department, and it had like our symbols on it and our motto and all that kind of stuff, and it was like a form that was asking for their personal information. And that person brought it down to our PD, and that it's not one of our forms. They just made it up, and unfortunately with a lot of the, like our badge and our shoulder patches and all that, you can find that on Google. And so they created a police form that they're sending to people. So unfortunately we haven't found who's doing that yet, but it's one thing to look out for.
Yeah, like I said, there's another one that's going around saying they're selling shirts for Timber Mesa or Sholo PD or us. Like I said, we can't do that. The only time we've ever put out any kind of shirt is at National Night Out, and it was really funny because we don't ever want people to be misrepresenting an officer. So it had like a giant I Heart PLPD. Like, there's no way you're getting misinterpreted as an officer. That's the only way we've ever put out shirts. You can't buy our uniform shirts. So yeah, any of those. But if you ever have a doubt, like I said, just call us. One of us can swing by, or we can look at it if you bring it down to the station, and we'll take a peek for you. Because most of us don't request any information, like, because I do a lot of the billing for dog licenses and stuff. And even when I send those out, it's just a letterhead. It says you can come down Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, pay by cash, check, money order. Like, I don't take any information, so.
Yeah. The fire department, I'm getting a lot of the same thing, asking for donations. And do you think it's about, they wouldn't be calling us, right? That's what.
No, most agencies will run like a drive if they're trying to do something, like the Torch Run or National Night Out or Sirens and Sleigh Bells. We usually do some kind of drive. And fire departments have a drive as well. They don't just call around and go, hey, we need money.
I can speak on behalf of the Pine Top Fire Department. If there's a solicitation, you can go to the chief or to the offices, either Pine Top or Timber Mesa, take it to the office and ask them if it's legit. They're The Firefighters Association will sometimes have a fund drive, but it's separate from the fire department. So look for the Firefighters Association. That would be one thing, but not the fire department direct.
Yeah.
So when in doubt, check it out, right?
Yes.
Verify, verify, verify.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah, Pam.
On this call from the police department, where they're asking you to give money for equipment and helmets and all this stuff. Okay, I know it's a scam. I've probably hung up on them 1,000 times. It feels like I've had this for 2 years. I tried talking to them, saying, take my name off the list. And I told them I don't give over the phone, send me something in the mail. And I actually do get something in the mail. But I don't know how to get rid of them. I am besieged with robocalls, probably 4 every day. So I'm in the process of getting my landline taken out to get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know any protections for landlines. I do know that most cell phone carriers have kind of like a third-party proprietor that bounces. I even use it. It's called Verizon Secure, because I carry Verizon. Does T-Mobile have something similar to that?
I don't know. So.
Like I said, he does the big investigations. I do the tech stuff. But you can usually talk to any of your providers and see if they have something like that they can put on your devices. That really does help a lot, because before you can even ring through to the person, it'll be like, verify that you're a human. I'm going to say a code, repeat the code, and you have to put it in, and it verifies stuff like that before it can even ring to your phone.
And what's the name of that again?
For Verizon, it's Verizon Secure.
Okay.
That I don't know, because like I said, I don't have a landline, so you may reach out to Frontier and see if they have something that can help with that. Because yeah, I don't have a landline, and I haven't done a lot of research into it.
Oh, Ray.
What is she? Sounds like she's got a tow truck.
There you go.
Nikki.
I have one of those little black boxes from Verizon that converts your landline into a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And on there, I get on the screen on my handset, it says potential scam.
Yep.
And what I do is I just block them.
Yep.
And then you can tell from then on, the phone will ring once and then that's it.
Yeah, and even though they change their numbers a bunch of times with those scammers, because like Detective Bunch was saying, you can literally type in and you can block your own number. It's quite unfortunate. But yeah, those ones, and if it does get through, you can go back on those apps from Verizon or whatever it is and put report a scam, and it'll pick up the IP address in those phones. So.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, Mike. You just wanted to see me walk around, didn't you? I know how it is, Mike.
If you have let's say a fraud situation where somebody adds a phone to your Verizon package and you trace them back as far as Colorado, do you guys lose ownership of that and you wait for Colorado to figure out what happened at that end?
Not necessarily. It would still be my investigation. Like if it happened here, it would still be mine. I would just work with Colorado. They can help me out. Like if the person's over there, I can get their assistance to help me figure out who it is, and then we can work on charging the person. But it's just a matter of getting all the information from the phone carriers on who created the account, where it was created,
Well, and then we had that happen, and the only way we got any information was 2 officers from you guys went to the Verizon store with us to get more information, but still we lost track of it. Once it got into Colorado, it kind of disappeared.
Yeah, it's just scams like that are difficult to figure out who did it, who created the phone number, because I don't know if they did it online or if they went in person to a store.
Baffled us was they would add another phone to our account and not even ask. I mean, it was to your mom's, but it's still, it was without, had no idea. If we hadn't looked and saw, oh, there's another phone on, how'd that happen? Her mom's been in a place for 10 years, so there's no way she could have done it.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be something like a stolen identity sort of thing. I know I was helping, she's a school teacher locally, but she was having a problem where people in different states were creating utilities under her name. So her identity was stolen, and they were creating accounts with her name with these utilities and then using it for like a month until it's canceled because they're not paying for it, and then they would just move on to like a different utility. So,
thank you.
Yeah, so on those ones, utilize those free services like the LifeLock, or most banks have some kind of free service that they work with. And you can use those ones, and they'll send you, if you have like a cell phone or something like that, or an email verification, they'll send you something before they even approve it. Hey, was this you? And that way it stops it before it even starts, because they'll just flag your identity that way. And then I think Detective Bunt's pamphlet has a bunch of information on that. You can also go to the IRS website. They have a lot of the identity theft information there too.
If you get a VPN, does one VPN cover, your two cell phones and your landline, or and your computers?
Yep, so if you get an account with a VPN, you can download it anywhere and just log into it and connect it, and it'll block any of those. So I only have one NordVPN subscription. I just download it on my computer, my cell phone, stuff like that, because we have a lot of sensitive information, and it works for everything. You just got to log in and connect it. Virtual Protected Network.
Any other questions or comments? Well, thank you both for coming. It was, I know it was helpful for me.